Sonisay is enjoying spending time with her young son in their rural Cambodian village. Her parents live there as well and often lend a hand with the new baby. Like many close-knit Cambodian families, they do what they can to support each other. So when Sonisay's family was struggling financially, she wanted to help. But what unfolded was an all-too common scenario for young Cambodians and their families. Sonisay became a victim of human trafficking. It all began with a broker who promised he would connect Sonisay with a paying job in China, allowing her to send money earned back home. But that job never existed.
I was introduced by one broker who I knew from my friend, and the broker promised me that I would be provided a job at China, hoping to have to earn more money and support my family and also help my families to settle the debt. But it was not as expected. At that time, I was 15 years old.
Cambodia is primarily a subsistence farming country, and so there's a lot of poverty, and poverty makes you desperate.
Graham Millman is the former executive director of Ratanak International.
The typical story of our clients is that they're growing up in the rural villages and the family needs financial help just to survive. So that's how the story gets started, where they have to drop out of school if they're in school, and they have to figure out a way to make money. And so they come down to the city, and they're largely uneducated, sometimes illiterate, and so they want to find any work they can find. And sadly, oftentimes the work that they find is exploitative. They get tricked into believing that there's something better in another country, the perfect husband, the perfect job, the perfect education, and they'll be able to send money back to their family. And as I say all the time, it just sounds too good to be true, because it is too good to be true.
They told me that there was no job available for me, so the only choice is to marry a Chinese man. I didn't want because I was too young and my purpose is to find a job, so I asked them to bring me back, but they said they could not help. The only choice is to marry a Chinese man in order to make a passport, something like this.
For 1 year, Sonisay would be married to a man she did not know or love. A man who would often become violent when she did not do what he asked.
I was not allowed to go out and I was not provided enough food as well. And the relation between me and my husband was worse and worse. And then my husband, he decided to bring me back to the broker.
Sonisay went with the broker and was put in a room with other girls in the same situation. She overheard the broker say she was going to sell her to a new husband. It was then she and the other girls decided to escape.
So at that time, there was also another girl who are also in the same situation with me, living in the broker's house with me. So we discussed and considered to leave the house. We were kept in the locked door, but there was a man who was at the front of the door with the key. So when he slept, I stole that key and tried to lock the door out and escape and run away.
After hearing Sonisay's story, I told her I thought she was incredibly brave. The escape with her and the girls was like something out of a movie. But she told me she was more afraid of being abused again than the risk of trying to escape.
At that time, I was really afraid of getting into the same situation, being violent by the new husband.
As they ran, they found a policeman, but he didn't speak Cambodian. The police eventually understood they were trafficked and put them in a holding cell while he tried to verify their story, a process that took months. Finally, the day arrived that Sonisay would make the journey home.
So at that time, the policeman came and told me to prepare the clothes. And then they bring me and my friends to the airport.
This time, those in charge were trustworthy. Soon she found herself back in Cambodia, where Ratanak staff took her in and cared for her as part of their transitional care project.
We're sitting here at on the top floor of our Ratanak Center, which part of it is our transitional home for young women. So we have that kind of program for young women who we meet at the airport if they've been trafficked overseas, and our staff welcomes them and brings them here to this home, and they can spend days or weeks here getting settled before they head back to their families. We have case managers, social workers that are assigned to that client and to their family and walk with them for a couple of years, 18 months to 2 years, helping them settle back in, as you can imagine, unpack the trauma and all of the family issues and things that come along with that.
At Ratanak, I feel it's like a home. It's like my home because the staff told me that I could do whatever I want and can treat it just like my home.
Sonisay was partnered with Fali, who is a caseworker with Ratanak. Over time, Sonisay became comfortable enough to share her experience and begin the healing journey.
God sees them as those who need love, and through His love, He's going to wars and restart them the new life. Nowadays, she becomes stronger than before. She believes in herself more than before, and she's independent, and she could take care of her family. So my life nowadays is good. There is no any problem, and I also plan to commit to work hard and save money to build my own house.